Here are the 7 mistakes that I want to cover. Let's start with number 1. If you're new to Fusion 360, you may or may not have heard of rule number 1, which is to always start a new component when building an assembly in Fusion 360. And that's exactly what I failed to do on this one. I started a sketch, I added some extrusion, some fillets, I shelled it out. I did all this work at the top level without coming over and starting a brand new component. So that's the first one. Always start a new component when you get started with an assembly. But our mistake number 2 is, what do you do when you accidentally got ahead of yourself like I did, right? So what I want to do is create a new component. I'm going to right click and do new component. Or this button right here does the exact same thing. Hit new component, and I want to make sure that it's selecting from the top node. It's creating this. It's not creating a child component. Give it a name if you know the naming or you have some ideas here. So if this is my first box that I'm going to build, hit OK. It now has this first component. Now, how do we bring in that other geometry? Notice the timeline is empty. And so what we want to do is drag in the body. And now that body will live in this component, but there's one more step here. Don't miss this one. You want to drag the sketch into the component as well. And now the sketch, and it's children's sketches and everything else should come with it. So now I have the sketches and features all brought into this component. So that can help you when you accidentally get ahead of yourself like I did. Hey, if you're just getting started with Fusion 360 joints and assemblies, that's why I created this 12 things you know to get started with assemblies. Be sure to check it out. Number 3, failing to organize your components how you want. So right now I have a top level component here, this assembly, and I want to create a subassembly that contains packaging, right? So what I'd like to do is create this, but I wanted these assemblies to live within this one actually. So you actually can drag and reorganize, and this works both ways, right? So let's look at it. The packaging does contain package and the case, great. But what if that's wrong? What if I actually meant for these to be top level assemblies? I just drag them back to the top node and it will split them back out for you. So you can reorganize components and subcomponents as needed. Number 4, not locking something down in components in your assembly. So right now my components are free to move about, which is not really what I want. I need to pick the main component by which I want everything kind of related to, or to maybe effectively lock this one in place. So I'm going to choose this case and I'm going to use a joint, an as-built joint. It's in the place it needs to be, and I'm going to select this component and I'll select the top node, make it rigid. It locks it to the top node. Now this is locked in space, but the other components are still free to move about. Number 5, not using the joints that are basically already done for you. This is in the location it's supposed to be, this yellow component, this inside here. You can see I can drag it out, but that's where it's supposed to sit inside this little case. So what I'm going to use is an as-built joint, and that takes into account its existing location. And I want to select this component to the outer one, and I want it to be a slider. I want it to slide in and out of this design. Now, this does bring up the fact that my slider is going too far, so I probably need to come over and set the joint limits. So I can play with it to get used to it. I could say the maximum, hit preview. So it's going the wrong way. I instead want a minimum. So I don't want it to go any further than it's sitting right now, but I do want it to go out. That looks better. Great. So the joint is prescribing the motion that's allowed, and it's using its location as it's designed. Number 6, failing to use the copy paste. Copy paste is a great way to reuse components, but there's a couple cool options here. So let's look at them. First, I'm going to select this case and do copy, paste, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, Command-C, Command-V on a Mac, and it will paste another version over here. Hit OK. And so what it's going to do is it's putting another case. This is an identical file, as in if this were a part number or a SKU, they'd be identical, to where if I were to come in and edit this, let's change the fillet. Let's make it tiny. So we hit OK. The other fillet, you notice, is also tiny. It's the same part. It's just another copy, another instance, right? So we can see the instance count here. Okay, so now let's look at another copy command. If I were to select this, hit Ctrl+C, right-click off in space, and choose Paste New. What this does is actually makes a copy of it, but it's no longer intelligently tied to this one. It's a new SKU, a new part number. It should have a different name even, right? So I would call this my special case. And it is different to where if we were to modify the fillet here like we did earlier, we'll make the part a little bigger here, just drag it. You'll notice that it is different than the other components because it's a different SKU, different part name, different file. And mistake number 7, let's use colors to our advantage for Fusion 360. I'm going to come down to the gear component color swatch. You'll notice that that highlights the design history down below for you, as well as using the inspect display component colors. Now we can understand which colors relate to the features in the timeline, in the history. It can make it easier to navigate. Hey, I made a cheat sheet for assemblies with Fusion 360 because I know they can be kind of overwhelming. That's free. Just go download it from my website. I'll link it in the description down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.